Lesson 96, Video 1. Last time you learned about probability. Probability, the probability of something happening is how likely it is to happen. Again, the probability of something happening is how likely it is to happen. You learned that you can make fractions to show probabilities. We're going to make fractions for the blue marbles and the white marbles. Our denominator for both fractions, for the visual shown, is how many marbles there are in all. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 marbles in all. So our denominator for both of these fractions is going to be 7. Now, how many are blue marbles? Let's count. 1, 2, 3. There are 3 blue marbles. So your numerator for here is going to be 3 because it's 4 blue marbles. And for white, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 white marbles. So for white, we're going to put our numerator as 4 out of 7. So which of these two fractions is closer to 1 whole, 7 out of 7? Our white marbles is closer to 7 out of 7, is a fraction that's closer to 1. So the event that would be more probable is going to be pulling out a white marble from the box. You have a greater chance, or it's more probable, to pull a white marble out of this box because there are more white marbles than there are blue. Now open your workbook to lesson 96 and find part 1. Problem A. There are 9 marbles in the box. Some are gray and some are white. You're going to write the probability fraction for pulling a marble from the box without looking. Write the probability fraction for pulling a gray marble from box A. Pause the video now to do so. So the probability for pulling out a gray marble from box A is 8 out of 9. There are 8 gray marbles out of 9 marbles in all. The probability for pulling out a white marble is going to be 1 marble out of 9. There is 1 white marble out of 9 marbles in all. So white is going to be a fraction of 1/9. Now circle the fraction that has the higher probability. Remember, that's the fraction that is closer to 1. You should have circled gray marbles because it is an 8 out of 9 chance rather than a 1 out of 9. Problem B. There are 9 marbles in box B. Some of them are black. Write the probability fraction for pulling a black marble from box B. And write the probability for pulling a white marble from box B. Pause the video now to solve. So, for problem B, the fraction you should have for pulling out a black marble is 4 out of 9. There are 4 black marbles for 9 marbles in all. And white marbles should be 5 out of 9. There are 5 white marbles out of 9 marbles in all. So the event that is more likely to happen, is more probable to happen, would be pulling out a white marble because it has 5 out of 9 rather than 4 out of 9. Now, let's look at problem C. There are white marbles, black marbles, and gray marbles in the box. You're going to write the fraction for each color. Write the fractions for the 3 colors. Pause the video now to do your work. There are 10 marbles in all. So your denominator for problem C for each marble type should be 10. Your denominator is 10. Now, for white marbles, how many out of 10 are there? There are 3 white marbles out of 10. Now for black marbles. How many black marbles in all are there out of 10? There are 2 black marbles out of 10. And for gray, there are 5 gray marbles out of 10. Now, circle which fraction shows that's more likely to happen if you were to pull a marble from box C. You should have circled gray marbles because it has the greater chance. There are more greater gray marbles than there are any other color out of 10. Now, problem D. The probability fraction is shown for black marbles in the box. What's the probability for black marbles? The probability for black marbles is 2 black marbles out of 7 marbles in all. The rest of the marbles are white. Draw the black marbles and white marbles in the box to represent the fraction 2 out of 7. Remember, the fraction shows how many marbles there are and how many are black. In that box, you should have 7 marbles, with 2 of them colored in black. Now, moving on to long division. Find part 2 in your workbook. Pause the video now to get there. These are division problems that are partially worked. You'll work the problem for the ones digit of the answer and complete each problem. Problem A. Problem A says 925 divided by 38. Work the problem. Pause the video now to do so. Check your work. You brought down the 5. You worked the problem 165 divided by 38. The estimation problem for 165 divided by 38 is 17 divided by 4. And what is 17 divided by 4? The closest you can get with 17 divided by 4 is 4. Then you are going to multiply 38 times 4. 38 times 4 equals 152. Lastly, you work the subtraction problem 165 minus 152, giving you a remainder of 13. Here is what you should have. Here's your remainder. Don't forget, your denominator is the same number you divide by over here. Now, moving on to problem B. 4,823 divided by 91. Pause the video now to do your work. Resume when you're ready. Let's check your work. You brought down the 3. You worked the problem 273 divided by 91. Your estimation problem for 273 divided by 91 is 27 divided by 9. 27 divided by 9 equals 3. Then you multiplied 91 times 3. 91 times 3 equals 273. You work the subtraction problem 273 minus 273. That gives you a remainder of 0. Here's what you should have for problem B. If you have any questions about this, rewatch previous lesson videos that explain how to do these long division problems. Problem C, 1,601 divided by 29. Pause the video now to work the problem. Let's check your work. You brought down the 1. You worked the estimation problem 15 divided by 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5. Then you multiplied 29 times 5, giving you the answer of 29 times 5 equaling 145. Then you work the subtraction problem 151 minus 145, giving you the remainder of 6. Here's what you should have. Here's your remainder. There's your denominator, same as the number you're dividing by. And here's everything I just explained. Again, rewatch previous lesson videos to help you understand this, or reach out to me on the chat feature on Teams. Next, let's move over to unit conversion. Open your textbook to lesson 96 and find part 1. Pause the video now to get there. All right, you'll see the facts. 1 hour is 60 minutes, 1 foot is 12 inches, 1 year is 12 months, $1 is 20 nickels, 1 year is 4 seasons, 1 day is 24 hours. You will use the measurement facts to work the problems. Problem A, change 5 years into months. The problem you should use is 12 times 5. Pause the video now to work it. You should have 60 months. Problem B. Change 12 days into hours. Pause the video now to work it. The equation you should have used is 12 times 24, giving you 288 hours. Problem C. Change 16 seasons into years. Pause the video now to work it. You changed 16 seasons into years, giving you the equation 16 divided by 4. 16 divided by 4 gives you 4 years. Problem D, change 36 inches into feet. Pause the video now to work it. You should have used the equation 36 divided by 12. How many feet is 36 inches? 36 divided by 12 gives you 3 feet. Problem E, change 15 hours into minutes. Pause the video now to work it. The problem you should have used is 15 times 60. 15 times 60, converting hours into minutes, gives you 900 minutes. Moving on to mixed number operations. Here we have the problem 5 2/3 plus 8 3/4. The denominators are not the same, so you have to find the lowest common denominator. Let's solve for lowest common denominator. We have 3 and 4. Let's figure out what they have in common as the lowest common denominator. So the first denominator is 3, and the second denominator is 4. So we're going to skip count by these two numbers until we find the same one. So 3, 6, 9, 12. 4, 8, 12. They both have 12. So for our first fraction, 2/3, we're going to multiply it by, how many times did we go over? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 over 4. And this one was 3/4. How many times did it take us to get to 12? 1, 2, 3 times. So it's going to be 3 over 3. And that's how you'll solve to change your denominator. Giving you this. Here's our new denominator, 8/12 and 9/12. We multiply straight across. 2 times 4 is 8, 3 times 4 is 12, 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 3 is 12. Then, as this says here, we add, we're going to add these together. What does that give us? 8 plus 9 equals 17 over 12. So 8 plus 5 now is 13. Now, notice we have a top-heavy fraction right here, giving us a whole number. We have 12 over 12 in here. So what we can do is move that over. We're going to move 12 over 12 over here, giving us 1 whole. So we're going to put a 1 here. And what is 12 minus 17? 5. So we have 5/12 as our remainder. So we have 14 and 5/12 as our answer. Find part 2 in your textbook now. Pause the video to get there. Part 2 in your textbook. Problem A says 5 4/5 plus 7 3/10. Copy and work the first part of the problem. Here's what you should have. They don't have the same denominator, so you need to create it. The lowest common denominator for both of these is 10. What would have gone here is just 1 over 1. They left it out. The next step, there you go. 5 plus 7 is 12, but don't forget, if you have a top-heavy fraction, make it smaller, add it to your whole number. Problem B, 12 5/7 plus 6 1/2. Pause the video now to work the problem. Resume when you're ready to check your answer. Here's what you should have. Problem C, 10 3/4 plus 5 6. Problem C, 10 3/4 plus 15 5/6. Pause the video now to work the problem. Here's what you should have. Up next, volume. Pause the video now to find part 3 in your textbook. Part 3 in your textbook, you'll figure out the total volume of the stairs. Problem A shows the bottom stair shaded. The equation for finding the volume of the bottom stair is going to be volume equals area of the base times the height. Again, the equation to finding the volume for the bottom stair is going to be area of the base times the height. Think of, in parentheses, length times width. On the outside of the parentheses is an H for height. Figure out the volume of the bottom stair and top stair. Add the volumes to find the total volume of stairs. So you're going to find the volume of each of those rectangular prisms. Then you'll add them together to find the total volume. Pause the video now to work the problems. Let's check your work. You figured out the volume of the bottom stair. So what's the number for the area of the base? 8 times 5 equals 40. The area of the gray square rectangular prism is 40. And what is our height? Our height for the bottom's rectangular prism is 2. So you're going to multiply 40 times 2, giving you 80. Just like so. So you figured out the volume of the top stair as well. The number for the area of the base of the top stair is going to be 8 times 3. 8 times 3 equals 24. Then you're going to multiply that by the height. 24 times 2 is 48 cubic feet. Now you're going to add 80 cubic feet and 48 cubic feet together to find the total volume. Pause the video now to do so, and resume when you're ready to check your work. Here's what you should have. 80 for the base, 48 for the top, and add them together to find the total volume. Remember, when it says area of base for both of these, that's the length times the width. Length times width, length times width. Once you solve that, you multiply it by the outside, which is the height. All right. So problem B doesn't show the bottom stair shaded. Figure out the volume of each stair. then add to get the total volume. Like I said, it doesn't show the bottom stair shaded, but it still has the dimensions you need to solve. So pause the video now and resume when you're ready to check your work. All right, so you figured out the volume of the bottom stair. The number for the area of the base of this, the bottom stair, is 600. Then you're going to multiply 600, the area of the base of the bottom, times its height, which is 8, giving you 4,800 cubic inches. This is the area of the base times its height, just the bottom piece. If it helps, draw a line to show the differences of the two steps. Now, to continue the equation, you figured out the volume of the top stair. The volume of the top stair is going to be 30 times 10 for the area of the base, giving you 300, because 30 times 10 is 300. Then you're going to multiply that by its height, which is also 8, just like the bottom stair. So you're going to have 300 times 8. Once you do that, you're going to add the two volumes together to find the total volume. Pause the video now if you need to work the problem. Here's what you should have. 7,200 cubic inches. Now, find part 4 in your textbook. You figured out the average distance and then answer. You'll figure out the average distance and then answer the questions. Question A. At what distance would you show the weights on the right side? Figure out the average distance and then write the answer. Pause the video now to do so. You figured out the total distance on the left side. The total distance on the left side is 24. Then you divided 24 by 4 because there's 4 weights to find the average distance. The average distance, 24 divided by 4, is 6. So you could make the beam balance by putting 4 weights on 6 on the right-hand side of the beam. So question A, at what distance would you show the weights on the right side? The answer is 6. You would show 6, or put the weights on 6. Go ahead and answer the other two questions. Pause the video now and resume when you're ready to check your work. Question B, how many weights would you show on the right-hand side? You would have 4 weights on the right-hand side that are placed on 6. Because you have 4 weights on the left, you need 4 weights on the right. What would the total distance on the right side be? Well, the total distance on the right side needs to be the same as the left. Even though the weights are in different spots, they have to equal the same amount. So you have 24 on the left-hand side, you'll have 24 on the right-hand side. Now, find part 5 in your textbook. Part 5 in your textbook, you'll work this problem as part of your independent work. Pause the video now to find part 6 in your textbook. Problem A in part 6 in your textbook says, the time required to take the old type of rack was 3 4/5 minutes. The time required to make the new type of rack was 4 3/5 minutes. How much more time is needed to make the new type of rack? Pause the video now to write the problem you'll work. The problem you should have set up is 4 3/5 minus 3 4/5. Can you work the problem for the fractions? No, you cannot work the problem for the fractions. The number you're going to rewrite is 4 3/5. Your whole new number for 4 3/5 will go from 4 to 3. You'll add that whole number that you took out of there to your fraction, making your fraction 8/5. You'll work the problems in part 6 as your independent work. Your independent work begins now. Your independent work is textbooks parts 5 through 12 and workbook parts 3 through 5. Reach out to me on chat if you have any questions, and don't forget to rewatch old videos, old lessons to remember how to do some of these works. But I'm also waiting to help you out. Get busy.